And I just watched it, and I feel like for young kids especially, that Hei Hei probably gives them an excuse to scream all over the house, which makes me excited that they could that they could be running around the house.
Yes. Oh, we have a great crowd. Hi, guys. Welcome to Fandango Front Row. I am a correspondent for Fandango. My name is Nikki Noval. Are you guys having a great D23 so far? Who's having the most fun? Who's having the most fun? We're going to have an incredible conversation today with a legend. He is actually a Disney legend as of this weekend. He is one of the biggest voice actors in history. Let's see if you know any of the movies that he's voiced characters in. Wreck-It Ralph? I think we can do better than that. Zootopia? Frozen? How about Rogue One, A Star Wars Story? Where's my Star Wars fans out there? Aladdin? The Genie? And my personal favorite, how the heck do you voice a rooster? He did Hei Hei and Moana 2. And like I said, he's getting honored this weekend. He's becoming a Disney legend. So let's make him feel like the legend he is, Alan Tudyk! Hello. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
So nice to have you here. Shall we have a seat and get chatting?
Hey, everybody. Hello. Brilliant.
First of things first.
You better ask me to marry you.
I mean,
because we have got to top that last. That was an actual marriage proposal.
Listen, I've been waiting for my Prince Charming all along. Is it you? Is it you?
You know what? I got to talk to my wife first.
Oh, that might not go so well.
Awkward.
I'll keep looking.
Okay, yeah, right.
Prince Charming, are you out there? Listen, it is so great to have you here. Congratulations on becoming a Disney legend.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
How does it feel to become a Disney legend? You know, I mean, you got The Rock, you got Anne Hathaway joining you tomorrow and being honored.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm The Rock's personal trainer, so I feel like. Why are you laughing? Yeah, no, it is. It's crazy. I don't know. They gave me the little pass, the thing around my neck, to get in and get past things, and it says legend at the bottom. Like, usually it says like actor or guest, but legend. It seems so, I don't know.
Legend is amazing.
Yeah, the legend of Alan Tudyk.
Does that mean you just get to walk into Disney anytime for free and go to the front of the line? Like, what do you get with being a legend?
I don't know, but I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it to the max and see what I can get. Yeah. You know, security will just have to remove me if they don't want me.
I feel like you're going to be okay.
Okay.
So I introduced you. I talked about a lot of the voices that you've done. You've done so many, 14 movies, 19 characters for Disney.
Right.
Do you have a favorite? Or is it like choosing between your children?
I can choose my favorite children, which is shocking. I have no children, don't worry. Yes, I do have a favorite. It's King Candy. Because he was my first, and he had such a great arc, and I love the movie Wreck-It Ralph. And thank you. I don't like Wreck-It Ralph, but he's trouble. But that movie is my favorite. The way that the arc of that movie is brilliantly. It's great storytelling, and he starts out so kind of fun and have some K-2SO and candy at you. And then by the end, he's a bug. And he's saying, watch your friends die. And it's like, oh my gosh. That is a journey to get to go on. So that was a lot of fun.
I was a little nervous that you might not want to do any voices today, but I think we're good. I think we're going to be fine. But yeah, that was your first.
That was my first.
That was your first. It's like your first love, right?
Yeah, and in this process of legending, sort of looking back, I realized that I didn't, I had done a little bit, three voices for Ice Age when I was in my 20s, just sort of got that job. But then I didn't work again in voiceover until Wreck-It Ralph, which was kind of really when I started my voiceover career. And I was about 40. I didn't start my voiceover career till I was 40. In the last 15 years, that's become such a huge part of my life. So
Yeah.
if you're out there and you're thinking, what's it gonna be? When is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
You don't know. And like, this is one that I didn't really choose. It just sort of happened, which makes it that much more special.
And now you've done so many and you're so amazing at it. I mean, amazing doesn't even describe it. So at this point, having done so many, do you have an ideal setup for when you are voicing characters? I mean, are you getting the tea? Are you putting on the slippers? Because so many actors say the thing that they love about do on-camera stuff, and they do a voice role, and they're like, I can show up in my pajamas, guys. There's no 2 hours of hair and makeup. So do you have a ritual or something that you like to do?
No. It's freaky when they give you a role. Like, because in my position, it's freaky because they'll be like, hey, we want you to come in. We got another role for you. And I'll come in and they won't tell me what it is until I'm there. So I'm coming in just cold. And then they'll show you a drawing. And sometimes there have been a few where they say, okay, this is the role. And like King Candy, they modeled it after an actor named Ed Wynn, who was a great Disney actor who did The Mad Hatter, and then he was also in The Woman with the thing. Thank you, Mary Poppins. And because he was Uncle, what's his guy? And he's stuck to the ceiling, and he loves to laugh. And so I got told, hey, they want that voice. So I knew going in it was that. For Duke Weaselton, who's in Zootopia, thank you. I didn't sleep well last night.
I love that this crowd finishes your sentences.
You're helping me.
You guys
We
are
are working
amazing.
together. This is why I love you.
Teamwork makes the dream.
Zootopia, thank you. That was the next thing I was going to say. I love you. Zootopia, they said, he's kind of like Cagney. So watch some Cagney. And so I watched some of him, but then, he's a weasel and his voice gets turned up and he's very high. So sometimes there'll be targets like that. But for me, I guess at Disney, they'll have green apples, which are, if you're trashing your voice, screaming like a rooster, you can eat these. It has a chemical in specifically green apples that sort of bring your voice back to neutral somewhat. So it has a medicinal effect. It fixes it.
That's a good tip for if you've been at a concert and you've been screaming.
Yeah. Suck on a green apple, and that'll help.
You mentioned a rooster, and I did say that Hei Hei was my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a little
Well, for me, like Hei Hei happened, they were putting me in all their movies, and then we had Moana, and there are no white guys from Texas in that movie. And appropriately, that would have been weird to have a white guy from Texas in that movie. But they're like, hey, the chicken, Alan could do the chicken. So the movie was almost done at the point when I saw it. And I just watched it and he's on the raft. And just kept going throughout the movie and just watched it for a few hours making noise.
See, yes. Let's just try something right now. See, it seems easy, right? On the count of 3, I want you all to try that, okay? Are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. You're hired. You're all hired.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that. I feel like for young kids especially, that Hei Hei probably gives them an excuse to scream all over the house.
Yeah.
Which makes me excited that they could be running around the house.
So it seems like this is easy for you. Like, is it difficult for you to tap into a character? Like you said, sometimes they don't tell you what it is. Like, do you need time, or do you like to sort of play with it, or you just sort of just have it immediately?
I like to play with it, and they'll even evolve throughout the process. Like King Candy started as Edwin. Edwin is a little more forward, and he talks a little bit more up. He talks a little bit more up here, and he has a little bit more of a lisp, and his voice can go higher up like that. So that's him. But then as we went longer, it sort of started to go to the back of my throat, and he could do things like that, and he made noises, and there was like a little bit of Jerry Lewis in there, and there's like. all of these just kept slipping and just evolving. So you start off and you'll do one session, which will be a scene. It'll be a few hours, and then you'll come back like weeks and weeks later and do other ones. So and then sometimes you'll go back and do scenes you've already done that they've rewritten, because that's part of their process. They record everything, they do the animation very simply, and they watch it and they go, "Ugh, Act 2's no good. We gotta fix Act 2." And then
more green apples for him.
More green apples. We need to go back to the drawing board on Act 2 in the movie, and they'll change it. And Wreck-It Ralph was the most changed because I was there from the read-through, so I got to watch all of the changes, and it was so neat to be part of that process. I loved it. There's so much, like Fix-It Felix was a much more central character in the beginning. It just all evolves, and it got better and tighter and better, and they have so many good people working there, story editors and animators and writers, that it's just the best idea gets taken throughout. And I always thought that writing by committee is a terrible idea, because I've seen that go wrong in television before, but Disney makes it work. It works really well.
They kind of know what they're doing.
They seem to, yes.
I was going to say, so was there an easiest role and a most difficult role that you've played?
No, I mean, there's Valentino from Wish, who, thank you, I loved him. That was one where I came in and they said it was a goat, and I said, if you could please just tell me something about it. And they said, he talks, which was like, oh, good. Because my goat isn't great. It's not. I got to work on it, and even then, it's a little too low for how cute the goat was.
We found something he can't do.
Yes.
A goat.
So I got there, and they showed me this little animation of Valentino with Wish, and the star, the Wish is a star, comes up, and he kind of goes around and lands on his nose, and then stars away. And they're like, all right, what do you got? And so we tried all this, because he's a baby goat, and he's wearing cute little pajamas. And we were doing these things that were very high, and it's sort of in Italian, because his name is Valentino. He said something like this. And it wasn't working. We were just like, no. And I said, well, what if he just talks like this? And that is his voice. They're like, oh, give it a shot. So we had a scene, and it's the scene where he gets his voice. Oh, I'm talking. Ha, ha, ha. And in that session, I said, who knew my voice would be so low? And then they put that in the movie, which was great. So that one was, I guess that was, once it was both hardest and easiest, because I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And then when we landed on that, it became really fun, and the character really came alive.
Amazing. Let's talk Frozen.
Yes, let's talk Frozen.
When did you first realize, we can clap for Frozen. When did you first realize how huge Frozen was going to be?
Yeah. I mean, when I saw it, I guess, I got an inkling. But my introduction to it was so not like everybody else's introduction. My introduction, so I had done Wreck-It Ralph, and Jennifer Lee worked on Wreck-It Ralph as well. She co-directed it. She was working on the next movie, which was a movie, as it introduced me, it's been on the shelf for a while. It's like a movie they keep trying to make, but they just keep dropping it, and they're like, you know what, let's give it a shot.
Wow.
It's an ice princess movie. So this is what it's going to be. And I was originally a butler who loved cheese, and he talked like this. I think he had an accent, like the cheeses. Anyway, he liked worm cheese. He liked all these weird cheeses. His voice was very thick because he's always had cheese in his throat, is how I imagined him. And we did a few sessions with it, and they're like, we got to cut the character, because he was a parental figure to the girls. And they go, but the movie's about them not having parents. They have each other. That's the point. And so he's still in it. You'll see him open doors and things, but he never talks. And they said, but we got this other guy. You want to play this old man? And so I came in, and there were pictures of the Duke of Weaselton. And we started out as an old man. I'm like, okay, so he's old, and then, but he's sinister. Oh, he's royalty. As well, of course. And then, he ended up dancing like a chicken with the face of a monkey. I fly! And he was such an idiot. I loved him. Yeah, thank you very much. His toupee would... Yeah, he was and he was the almost villain. I came in for a session. They said, do you want to see one of the songs? And they showed me In Summer. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I saw. And I was like, that is the perfect, that all he wants to do, and he's a snowman, he wants to be in summer. What an idiot. What a great character. What a perfect character. And yeah, so that was my first inkling that it was going to be great. And Josh Gad was brilliant.
Oh, he's incredible. It's so cool that you get a peek behind the curtain at all the magic that goes on in making these films. Let's jump on over to Star Wars. Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Yes. All right.
First, need to know because everybody has their first Star Wars experience. I'm sure all of you remember the first time you saw Star Wars movies. So, what was your first memory?
Well, it was Star Wars, the original Star War, back in the 70s. I was a kid. I was 4 or maybe 5 when it came out. And I saw it with my brother, and I remember the long lines and the hype, sort of the confusion of that as a child. And I was blown away by it. I remember after Star Wars, Darth Vader came to the mall in Plano, Texas, and he was there, and I was hiding behind my mom to look through the down on him. I was in the atrium at the Plano community. No, what was it called? It was called Collin County Mall, or anyway, whatever the mall. It's dead now. It's closed. But Darth Vader lives, even though I think he's dead again. I don't know. Tough to follow. But yeah, so that was my first experience, and I loved it. We never had but yeah, loved it. And saw then all the movies after. And
so then, being a kid.
Yes.
And being awed by Star Wars, and then going, oh my gosh, I'm in a Star Wars movie. How do you get your head around that?
Yeah, it was so weird. I had done a movie called I, Robot, where I played a robot. And it wasn't, it was great and all, but there were some things about it I didn't much like. Nothing bad about anybody. I just, at the end of the process, I was like, okay, I've done it. I don't think I need to do it again. A motion capture role. And then this came along, and Gareth Edwards, the director, offered me the role. Yeah, he did a great job, and I was hesitant. I was on the fence, if you can believe it. I have trouble believing it. But I was on the fence, and he called me and was like, I hear you're not making up your mind. I'm like, I don't know, man. I said, I think I'm the best guy for this job because I've done it before. I know a lot about it. But I'm also the worst guy for this job because I've done it before, and I'm a little gun shy. And he said, Alan, come live in London and play Star Wars. And I went, yeah. What am I doing? Yes, you're right. I'm an idiot. My God. So I went and lived in London for 6 months. We traveled all over the world, and I was on stilts. And Gareth was very big about giving us opportunities to, like when you are a motion capture role, once you do your line once right, then you can kind of do whatever you want, as long as you're not screwing up the other actors' lines. As long as you're feeding them something, like if my line is "come this way," I can say it's this way or over here, and it's not going to screw up the continuity of the scene. As long as it sets up their next line, which is, all right, let's go. So with Diego Luna, I just got to play, and then with Gareth, he was into my stupid lines, and that's how we ended up with things like. These are prisoners. Yes, I'm taking them to prison. To imprison them. In prison. Like dumb stuff, and there's a fresh one if you mouth off again, and it's dumb stuff. Yeah, that was so much fun. So yeah. I ended up having a really great time.
And I love that the more fun you have, and then they make them in the movie, and they make the movie.
Yeah.
We just have a couple minutes left. I am a Fandango correspondent. At Fandango, we love movies. So we love to know how you like to go to the movies. So I'm going to ask you
Right.
the hard-hitting question. Where do you like to sit when you go to the movie theater?
Right.
The spot you like to sit, and what do you like to snack on?
Okay. Wow, we all have an answer to this question, don't we?
We
We
do.
all know. We immediately know the answer to that. There's sort of this row, this row in where it starts to go up, and there'll be handicapped, or people who need extra assistance seating.
Yeah.
And then there's sort of a row with a bar on it. If they've got one of those, that is choice. Right up there, because you can
Go
put your
up.
feet up like that. Or anywhere there in the middle. I love that in the middle. That's far enough away, but not too far back. And I am a popcorn lover. I only eat it when
Classic.
I'm really in the theater, and I eat way too much of it. I'm doing better these days. I try to get a medium, because I'll eat the whole thing. And so yeah, popcorn and water, which almost doesn't work, but because you want the sweet and the salty, but whatever.
I love
older.
a sweet and salty. I'm a sweet and salty
sweet
kind
and
of
salty
girl.
is great.
Okay, my very last question for you is, we've all been to the movies. You've been to the movies, obviously, many times. What was your most memorable movie experience? What movie was it? Yeah, you guys shout it out. 1, 2, 3. What was yours? And what was yours?
My most memorable movie experience? It was, oh God. One time, oh no, that wasn't at the movies, never mind. No, it was, one time I accidentally rented Blue Velvet and watched it on my VHS with my mother. Terrible memory, but very memorable. We got through just a portion. Anyway, we didn't watch the whole movie. But when I was a young boy, my grandmother, I was visiting my grandmother, my mom's mom, and she let me pick the movie. I don't even know how old I was, but I saw Stripes in the movie theater.
Nice.
And I was like, ha! What? It was excellent. It was much more adult comedy than I had been used to. That one, or also Airplane. When I saw Airplane in the movie theater, it might be Airplane, because that one I can recall being outside the theater and looking at my friends, and it was as if the world had changed. Like that something could be that funny, that it was it changed what comedy could be. I think I'm putting it. I didn't understand it as to be that when I was that young, but it was such a shock. I was so thrilled. It was almost like going on Space Mountain. Like you come off and you've got adrenaline coursing through. You're like, what just happened? Oh my God.
Well, as you've all seen today, this gentleman knows comedy. You're hilarious.
Thank you very much.
You're so talented. Thank you, Alan Tudyk.
Thank you.
Give him a big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Alan Tudyk.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.